Hey, my loves, welcome to another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment because I love to bump gums with you. Hope you enjoy. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. We are going to talk today about your guys's, well, I think it's your guys's. It's certainly one of my most favorite topics.
It's one of mine, too.
Vanderpump Rules. Those are the rules.
What is that from?
I don't know.
Oh.
Another movie quote.
Oh.
I'm obsessed. Because
so good.
those are the rules.
It's those are the rules. What is that from?
I'm going to look it up.
Quote.
So this is going to be another episode. I'm just letting you guys know because you guys are used to a certain, what's it called? Routine, we'll call it. The Virgo in me loves a routine. And we've been sticking to it for the past however long when we do our Wednesday episodes. But if you haven't noticed, I'm ready to pop.
She sure is.
So I just want to we're stacking the episodes. So today I've asked you guys again what Vanderpump Rules moments you guys liked, were confused by, what stuck with you where you're like, I don't really know if I understand. I'd like her to venture into that a little more. Easton has a question, which was wild. He goes,
I have two.
Oh.
because he doesn't watch the show.
Right.
So there are now times that because he's now in the zone of the world, right? So he walked in, he's like, I got a couple questions for you today on the podcast about how you acted. And I was like, great, lovely.
I love this.
And then he brought up the seasons and I was like, oh, drinking Lauren, even
The best
lovelier.
ones.
Oh my God, this is great. Yeah, and
Oh.
just ask people to also what they wanted you to dive more into, La.
Okay, well, let's.
Easton, are you?
Let's start with them, and then
All right.
I'll ask.
I know
Maybe
you
I'll
will.
even hit the season that they bring up.
So, were you on this season? I think you were, La.
Okay.
But it sounds like all they put was Kristen and Jax sleeping together.
Okay, isn't that so wild?
What?
That they hooked up and he was fully with Stassi at the time.
Okay, was that the catalyst for the slap
Yes.
from Stassi?
Yes.
Were you on
Because
this season?
I was not on that
Okay,
season.
but you watched.
I watched. That's like a super iconic scene.
Yes.
They both, Kristen and Jax, were adamant that nothing had ever happened.
I watched, yeah.
But if you know Jax at all, at some point, we all know that I think I will label him as a liar.
Okay.
I label him as a liar.
Okay.
I do think there are times where he breaks. And it's like, why didn't you just start with all of this?
Right.
It's like, why do you have such conviction with the lie to suddenly you're like, I'm just going to tell you the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Right.
So Kristen was going to die on the hill of nothing ever happened. And remember, she was with Scandoval, who was best friends with Jax. It was this weird entanglement that they got themselves into.
Shout out Jada.
And I always say, people who get comfortable with each other and have a really tight bond and a really tight friendship, the moment you add alcohol, it becomes easy to get naked with them and insert things where they shouldn't and don't belong. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Happened with me and James.
Mm-hmm.
Happened with Kristen, Dodie, and Jax.
Mm-hmm.
Happened with Rachel and Scandoval. It just happens. Okay? And I do believe that the alcohol is the catalyst to the dick catapulting into the vagina.
Catapulting. Really just catapulting.
So I wasn't around, but it was weird that that happened a really long time ago and then cut to where we are now. And I'm like, oh, it's still happening. Y'all should look into this behavior.
Right.
Y'all should look into this behavior.
Right.
You know, and kind of go, what's not working? Because, the definition of insanity is where you do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not get super close as homies where it's like kind of inappropriate and then go and get fucked up together alone.
Unless you're all friends and like, we're all going to hook up. That's just what it's going to be. Then do your thing. But if not, and there's secrecy, you gotta switch that up.
I just think anytime if you're about to do something and you're like, okay, if people were to find out about this, if I can't tell people about this, should I be doing it?
Right.
And if the answer is no, this is something that I hope stays private, I would disengage. I would abort mission.
So then with Kristen and Jax, I remember watching that and Kristen being like, we didn't. Is this kind of a different question?
What season was this?
This was, I believe, wasn't this 2?
If it was 2, I didn't come on until 4.
No, I know, but when you watched it, this was years down the road, right? You had already known everyone.
I actually watched the episode during the pandemic.
Okay, and I remember you, but I'd like you to repeat it. I remember you saying, I don't know if it was just to me, but you said like you watched it and you were like, oh, this is iconic. Did you like feel that way watching like the first couple seasons or no? Like, this is an amazing show. Like
Without me on it, yes. When I went back and watched it, I then understood why people were so obsessed, what hooked everybody, and honestly felt in that moment 2 things. Holy fuck, how did I end up here with this group?
Right.
And then, oh my God, I feel really, really fucking dope that I ended up here.
Right.
You know, because you watch those moments, and I say to people who are new to reality television, like, for example, whoever joined The Valley, these people have been my friends for a really long time. I've known them before The Valley ever came to fruition. But I try to remind them, there are going to be moments where when it happens and then you have to relive it and it airs where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so cringy. I hate this. And a lot of times those moments, give it some time, turn into iconic moments.
Mm-hmm.
So just try not to like get married to the way that you acted.
Okay.
And also try not to like refine the way that you're acting, because a lot of people, they're like, I decided like if we're filming, I'm not going to drink because I want to be in control. And it's like, well, I kind of want to be entertained. So could you like maybe have a drink?
Unless you're sober.
Right. But I'm like, you don't have a drinking problem.
Right.
You're a normie. I'm not talking to these people who are unhinged when they drink and it's like, okay, we gotta get sober.
Yeah.
I'm sober. I'm interesting as fuck still. So it's no surprise that my relationship with sleep has not been the best. And of course, the thing about sleep is it's the foundation of whole body health. Getting proper sleep can increase focus, boost energy, and improve your mood. So how do you achieve that? I've got 3 words for you. Beam's Dream Powder. It's a science-backed hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. And if you ask my mom, Lisa, it works like a dream. She swears by it now. She mixes Dream into hot water. You can use milk too. She froths it up and enjoys. It comes in a bunch of flavors like sea salt caramel, that's Lisa's favorite, brownie batter, vanilla chai, and the original cinnamon cocoa. Each serving is only 15 calories and 0 grams of sugar. And right now, my listeners get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder, their science-backed hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Better sleep has never tasted better. If you want to try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder, get up to 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Lala and use code Lala at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/Lala and use code Lala for up to 40% off. Okay, can I tell you though, Easton, season 7, after Dad had passed away, I did tell myself, I'm unhinged and emotional from his passing. I'm not going to drink. I'm only going to smoke weed. And we went to Solvang, and it was my trip. And production kept saying, okay. And we were in the van. We had just landed. And we took a little private jet there because it wasn't very far. And production, Jenna.
Oh, boy.
Jenna not Jenna Willis, long hair. You know who I'm talking about. Producer Jenna. She doesn't work for the show anymore, with the show. But she was like, okay, La, you have to tell everybody. And she's so fucking cool. She's like, La, you got to tell everybody, like, where we're going. This is your trip. And I was so high that I would look at everybody. I would perched myself because I'm in the front row of the van. And I look at everyone. I'm like, I don't even know what I just started laughing. And so Ariana's like, so we're in Solvang and you're going to take us wine tasting? That'll be great. I'm like, mm-hmm. And she's like, and we're going to stay at this hotel? I'm like, mm-hmm. That's what we're going to do. I couldn't even function. I was so high.
That's hilarious.
I was high as
a fucking kite.
I dream about getting that high.
Yeah. And finally I was like, yo, I cannot keep getting this fucking high when we're filming because I can't produce words.
Right. You like can't.
Right.
And that's when you added the alcohol back in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I actually
Lose one and pick one up.
Yes, or both. I love that you
Beautiful.
talked about this because I went to the question that we had about, they obviously just want you to talk more about it. Talking to Stassi in Solvang by the horses about your dad.
Oh my God, that was torture.
So that was I remember that scene. You were
Torture.
crying.
Sobbing.
Did you know going into that, were you like, this is going to be a very deep, tough conversation? Or did it sort of just happen?
Well, I was struggling, obviously, that entire time that we were filming. It was
Right.
the darkest place I've ever been in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So there were moments because I knew that I was going through what I was going through, but I also knew that, like, everything I go and film, I can't just constantly be talking about my dad, even though that's kind of the only thing I'm focused on. So when production, because I was kind of purging onto production just about how, like, today I'm in a funk, like, we're with these horses and it's reminding me, like, there were certain things, the song Fast Car by
Tracy Chapman.
Yes, which has nothing to do with death, nothing to do with, like, a father-daughter relationship. There was something about the tone of it that always brought me, like, sobbing. Even when I hear it now, I'm like, okay, this, like, reminds me of my dad.
And subconsciously, you could have listened to it with him, and that's why you hear it and brings you back to that.
That
you
could
know?
be it.
Like, it's subconscious feeling of
That
you.
totally
Yeah.
could be it. And then I was watching these horses and I'm like, oh my gosh, like the thought of, like, these animals. And I had just gone on the horse, remember? And I was like, me being on a horse and just, like, feeling it breathe, and we have to be in sync. There was something very spiritual about that too. And I was searching for any sort of higher power because I started questioning my higher power at that point. I'm like, there is no God. There's really shitty people in the world, and, like, why my dad? Stassi is great at just listening, where she doesn't say much back to you. And I'm not saying that I wanted someone to, like, shut the fuck up, but I just wanted someone who was gonna, like, listen and feel for me. And that scene, what's interesting about that scene is the guy who edited the replay of season 10 where I talk about the one that was nominated for an Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
This brings me to one logical conclusion. They're hooking up. The same editor of that episode edited the scene of me and Stassi, me talking about my dad, saying that my dad's just a memory and that's fucking me up. And he said the reason he was able to really sink into that editing process was because his wife had just lost a parent as well. And he was like, so I could in some way understand what you were trying to say because my wife had said similar things about her. I believe it was her dad that also passed away. So I thought that was really cool that someone who actually was on that side of grief with me was editing that scene together.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It was dark. That whole season was very dark.
Yeah.
Bambi-eyed bitch. Like, that was a dark moment for me.
Which is interesting because now you look back and it's, oh, iconic. Bambi, you named an eyeshadow palette after it.
Yeah. Like,
But
when I watch
yeah.
that scene, I have veins popping out of my neck. I'm going like this because I'm like, I have never wanted to get physical with someone. But, like, I've not only consumed champagne, I'm in a grieving process and we're in the anger stage. And, like, I have never wanted to grab someone by their hair and yank them to the fucking ground.
And you didn't.
And I remember sitting there being like, let me tell you something.
Like holding back.
Yes. And just the veins in my neck, I was like, oh my God, you're, like, enraged right now. Yeah, because anything short of, I'm so sorry for the loss of your dad, react however you need to just process this, I was coming for you.
When you watch that, do you feel can you go back there or no? Do you feel the feelings? Like you said, you see the veins and you're like, oh my God, I wanted to rip her hair out or whatever. Or do you just like, no, you watch and you're like, can you watch it without getting in a bad headspace?
Do you watch it and take yourself back into that mindset? Because that's, for me, even watching it after that, like I don't watch, but I did watch that, and just hearing you talk about it for one thing, I was like, I can't, because it took me to that point.
No, I can't watch season 7.
Yeah.
You can't?
No.
Okay.
No. And the first interview that I do, they have me talk about my dad passing away, and I say, my dad passed away, and I start sobbing and say, it's so weird to say that. When I watch those things, it takes me back to such a heavy place. And there's a point during all of that, which is another reason why I think this past season, season 11, where everyone was like so taken aback, how dare I have these questions for Ariana after she suffered her heartbreak. I'm like, I vividly remember me spiraling from the death of my dad, something that she knows very well, and her saying to Scheana that I needed to toughen the fuck up. So how is it that I can't ask questions about someone being cheated on, but when I lost my dad, someone who I adored, I need to toughen the fuck up? And during that reunion, and maybe it's lost on me, I don't ever remember getting an I'm so sorry, I should have never said that. I got a merry-go-round of fucking excuses of why she said that. So I think that anyone who signs up for reality TV needs to really be prepared that no matter what, I mean, Lisa Rinna lost her mom and was acting differently. I can't imagine why. And she was very angry, and watching it, I was like, oh my God, I so feel for this woman. And no one gave her any grace.
All the freaking credit for you guys who do reality TV.
Right.
Because the amount of things and I haven't even gone through trauma, real trauma. The amount of things and the emotion that comes out and the way I take it out on people, and I'm a mess. And then a few months later, I'm like, damn. Like if the way I act ever was caught on camera, I'd be like, people would hate me. And then you guys do it all in front of camera.
But do you regret how you ever acted? Because when the lossing of our dad, there's a lot of things that I wish I would have done differently. But for me standing here today and doing everything that I'm doing, if I were to be back, I don't think I'd do anything different, because I know I got to this point.
Right.
So in your headspace, would you have handled it different, or any conversations differently with that? Or do you stand by with everything that you said because your emotions were your emotions?
And people can relate now.
Yeah.
They look back, yeah.
I mean, I handled it that was the greatest loss I'd ever experienced. I won't experience that type of loss again until my mom.
She's never
which
gone.
we won't even go there. But that was the greatest loss I've ever had. So, yes, I do think that way, of where I'm like, had I not gone back to Vanderpump Rules, there's so much that, like, I probably wouldn't be sober. You know, I had to rewatch my behavior, but at the same time, I had such a soft spot. Like, I doubled down at that reunion. Like, I was not apologizing for how I acted. Like, I don't know how to explain this to you. My dad died.
But that's the other thing, is like,
So
you doubled down, because for me, just looking at it, if you would have had people care, you wouldn't have had that feeling of doubling down. It's almost like you doubled down because still nobody cares, or is giving you that
I didn't feel like I was
support.
babied in any type of way. I was like, we're sorry about your dad dying, but like, we're throwing you to the wolves. Great, whatever. No, I'm happy I went back, because now I'm a sober person, and I got to grieve my dad and remember him in a very healthy way. However, there's also the other side where I think I should not have gone back to the show, season 7. I should have taken a step back and really taken time for myself and my family. But then I probably wouldn't be sober. So I don't know.
Well, there you go. And also you saying that just as like a viewer watching, there's something so powerful. Like you had a platform and you showed people it's okay to act. You can literally be a mess. You can handle grief any way you want. And that's okay because that's how you're handling it. Like that is okay.
Yeah.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. It's so great to see people handle grief with grace. I look at it, I watch it, I learn from it, but I also love, not for this to sound dark and not this is not what you did, when people handle grief in a very messy way, I feel there's something very calming because I'm like, okay, you can lose your shit sometimes and we're all human and that happens and it's okay.
I think when people ask me for advice, my biggest piece of advice is surround yourself with people who are going to let you go through the process that is grieving, because there's no handbook that tells you what to do. It's not pretty. It gets ugly. You have moments that are euphoric where who knows why they're like that. And you're like, I'm going to be okay. I can feel this person with me. We're going to be good. To, oh, we're slamming the bottle. Oh, fuck. I hope that this doesn't stick forever. To, I'm angry and I need to throw shit. Somebody has to be around you who can baby that and not make you feel guilty for it.
Yeah. Like if you're slamming the bottle, your one friend is like, I know that you lost, but let's not take 2 shots right now. Let's wait. And that's that step back of having good people. And the other thing is always showing like your emotion. I don't know if you do that, but when I was going through it and when the handful of people who have come and said, my dad, mom has passed, like, how did you get through it? I just say every emotion that you feel show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's got, you know.
Once you suppress it, it's going to come out at some point.
Thing.
Did you know today is a great day to warranty? Well, actually, every day is a great day when you're not worrying about your appliances and home systems. And that's what you get with American Home Shield Warranty. I signed up with American Home Shield the moment I decided to buy my house. With an American Home Shield warranty, unexpected breakdowns like a leaky faucet or faulty water heater won't break the bank because covered repairs and replacements are taken care of, just like that. And not by me, my mom, or Easton. We wouldn't know the first thing to do if something stopped working in this house. I just contact American Home Shield when a covered item breaks, and their trusted and qualified pros will fix or replace it based on the coverage limits in your agreement. So having that sort of reassurance from American Home Shield is something to celebrate. When it comes to protecting your appliances and home systems, don't worry, be warranty. Visit ahs.com/GTL today to get 20% off any plan. That's ahs.com/GTL for 20% off any plan. For more details, see ahs.com/contracts for coverage details, including limit amounts, fees, limitations, and exclusions.
And I also remember when I had gone off on everybody all of season 7, and then we did the reunion. And Tom Sandoval said something about how like everyone goes through shit. His dad was hospitalized or something like that. And I was like, good for you, Tom. I'm happy for you that he didn't, like when that happened to him, he didn't lose his mind. And what I so badly wish I would have said is like, you get to still pick up the fucking phone. Like, I'm sorry your dad was hospitalized, but like you could call him right now and be like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
So shut the fuck up.
Death is final.
Right?
Like, mine was a very final thing. And by the way, that my dad and I had like a good relationship. I'm not saying that people on the cast had different relationships, but you cannot, none of us can talk about something like that when you don't know the ins and outs of, you don't know the relationship that someone had with someone, right? You're sitting there judging their grieving process while that person who's grieving is going over every moment they ever had, the wrinkles on the face, how the hug felt. So it's important to surround yourself with people who are going to let you go through every emotion and be there with you.
Yeah.
And not tell you how to handle it or judge you for how you're handling it. Because we wish that we could sack up and smile and wave, but it's like, I don't know how to process this.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, let's move on to something happy.
This was great though. I love that tangent. I think it's very important. Okay, something maybe not happy, maybe happy, but lighter. Season 10 reunion. We're jumping there. This is from Scheana. Was there any moments that didn't air that you wish had? So season 10 reunion is you, like that's red dress you? Or is that most recent? Why am I blanking?
Wait, is that the one where
dress?
you stood up? You stood up and spun?
You're thinking of Ariana in the red. That's Ariana in the red cutout dress, and I was in the sequin cheetah print.
Oh, duh. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Season 10 is finger guns.
Is that the where you got up and did the spin and you were like, I have it? No? You were by James, but you got up out of your seat and you did a spin. Did you not? Wasn't that in a
spin?
Yeah, like in your dress, you were like, I'm fine. I look great.
No,
And
this is recent. This
is that recent?
No, season 10 is like she
when
was
did I
bitching
ever
at
stand
Scandoval.
up and twirl? Please tell me.
I'm gonna find it
Bitch
because
slap that version of me.
This is the like bitching. Her and James were like MVPs, like yelling at Sandoval, yelling at Rachel. Maybe I don't know.
yes. I was,
Okay. Was there anything that didn't air that you wish had?
you know what I really love that
What?
they're doing now is Peacock has the extended version.
Okay.
So no, they actually kept everything that I thought was worthy of showing in.
Okay.
They showed like the episode on Bravo, and then the next day the extended version airs on Peacock, and I love that they're doing that because it gives you like they put in like the really petty moments that are like
So stupid, but like funny or whatever.
that I think kind of like make the reunion.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, this is funny. You've talked about this before, but I've seen a few of these, so I'm going to read it. Kristen's speech at Katie and Schwartz's engagement party, and you interrupted. How did this come about? Were you drunk? Did you not want to be there? Were you forced to be there? And you're just like, I'm fucking over it. Did you want camera time? Like, what was it?
I wish that I could be like, I was coherent enough to just want camera time.
Right.
No, I was
Can you wrap this up?
wasted.
Okay. And did you not like, I'm trying to bring myself back to that episode.
She wasn't making sense. And by the way, the people I was around were also wondering what the fuck was going on. So I'm sitting here listening and I'm wasted. And I'm like, I'm not the only person that doesn't know what they're talking about. They're tangenting. And people around me were like,
What the
this is
fuck?
hard to, yeah.
Right.
So that's when I was like, we're trying to have fun. Can you wrap it up? The fuck are you talking about?
And you weren't getting along with her this time, right?
No.
Okay.
But that was Katie and Schwartz's engagement party with people that had flown in.
I know.
I
Lala, you had hoops on, right?
I have to be honest, I don't know why she would ever want to be my friend or ever forgive me for that.
Kristen? Or Katie?
Katie.
You stand up.
Let me see.
Yeah, but I don't twirl.
Well, it goes the other way.
Oh, she stands up with the finger guns, right?
No. He goes.
You're fucking
Swartz
moron.
goes, look at you, and she gets up and she goes, yeah, look at me.
Who is yelling?
me.
No, not you know, but like, is it James?
No.
Or Schwartz.
Maybe. I don't know. But that's what I didn't. I don't know if you like. I mean,
didn't twirl
not like
around.
not like a.
Yeah, he's like,
got
look
up
at
and
you
then
because I'm.
turned back. Yeah.
I've been
But I
taken over.
remembered. But I did remember. You stood up.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
What were we talking? Okay, so then,
Sorry.
so no, you're good. Yes, I did stand up, and I actually think that was in the extended version that you're talking about. Where he's like, look at you, and I
For
like,
Peacock
what did you
and-
expect? What did you expect?
I did. The only reason why I remembered that is because I loved it.
No, but he had been Sandoval had been like so self-righteous with me for years. Okay.
Right.
Like, and now I find out you've done this. Oh, I'm about to eat you alive.
I'm going in.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
that whole Raquel had just like at the dinner table told me I'm a mistress and you guys are both going to show up. I'm fucking you up.
Yeah.
Now I'm calm. Oh, sort of.
Sort of.
When you go, other question: when you go into a reunion or anything like that, do you prep or do other people prep
No.
for like anything?
I don't know what
bullet
anyone else
points?
does.
Lala
just
actually
has
made
it
a
in
great
there.
point. She's
Bullet
like, when you
points.
go in and prep, it doesn't go well.
Well, what's her name? Did it?
Who?
Remember, she was on Salt Lake. She's not on it anymore.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Like,
she had
you
the
write
book.
down
She had her
lines?
notes. Even what's her name did, who came back on Orange County or Beverly Hills, and she was like, "I did bring a couple of notepads, so I don't miss anything."
Oh my
Aw.
God.
Don't you remember that?
Yes.
So that's what I was saying. If not only you, but do other people prep that way? Because it is crazy to like see you guys go in and then you guys remembering every single thing from that whole season. Because I'd be like, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
So that's where. How do
That's
you guys
true.
even like? How would you prep? Do you watch the whole season before you do it?
Season 11 was the first reunion I went into that I hadn't watched.
Because you're supposed to, right?
I think you should, so you know what's being said behind your back.
You guys have heard all about my hair struggles in the past. Between pregnancy hormones, the constant bleaching, and just the stress, my hair struggles have definitely been real. But thankfully, I have Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement with over 1 million people seeking thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. I am definitely one of those people. I took the Nutrafol Hair Wellness Quiz on Nutrafol.com, and I got a personalized hair health plan that really is working for me. Nutrafol makes building a hair growth routine so easy, and you'll see results in just 3 to 6 months. Purchase online, no prescription required. You get free shipping and automatic deliveries so that you never miss a single day. Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Give Them Lala listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code LALA10. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and hairstylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code LALA10. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code LALA10.
Okay, so looking back on Mexico,
Okay.
do you see the signs with Tom and Rachel more clearly? When you were there, were you like, something's going on? Or were you just like, I don't even give a heck about these two? Like, do you get, yeah.
Yeah, when you were in Mexico, were you like, they're fucking?
I'm trying to remember when I started thinking their relationship was weird. I have to say, I thought that they were getting a little too close.
In Mexico?
Just the entire time we were filming, it was like the way that he defended her. It was like, I didn't think they were fucking, but I was like, what are you fucking her? Is she paying you?
You said
like,
this
what the
in
fuck?
Mexico?
No, I'm thinking
Oh.
at the beginning of just like, I just thought it was weird that she was always such a fixture, and whether Ariana was around or not, it was like weird to me.
Yeah, and remember, the Mexico was Schwartz. That was like, oh, are they going to kiss? Are they going to... It was Rachel and Schwartz. When I was watching the show, I was like, yeah, I could see. If I hadn't known about Sandoval, I'd be, yeah.
When I really kind of put it together and I was like, I'm actually saying something now. Like I had this weird, like, y'all are close. But it was after the Labor Day party where I talk about how I went to the barbecue, Ariana's grandma had died, and then Tom Sandoval stayed. And I was like, he was with Raquel the whole time. That's when I was like, I'm saying something. Something is not right. But in Mexico, I believe that was in August. And you have to remember, I didn't see them together. I was kind of on the fringe. I was hanging out with Katie and Christina. I didn't see what Sandoval and Rachel were like together.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I watch it, and he's like, Raquel, and I'm like, you guys probably fucked on, and I think they fucked on that trip.
They did.
Yeah.
That like came out somehow. I don't know if it was, anyway. Wild. Okay.
I have one.
Yes.
Season 4.
Oh, we're throwing it back.
Throwing it
Season,
back.
my
I
first
know,
season.
we even got episode 10.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, remind me.
You were, I want to say it was dinner. You, Sheesh, Kristen,
And Jax. Yeah.
What was going through you? What?
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
That was what
Wait,
was going
remind
through
me.
me.
Was there something sad or done?
She was like giving him hugs.
Jax?
No,
Yeah,
we've
like,
talked
can
about
I lick
this.
your ear? Little
We've
things.
talked about
That's
this.
this episode. Okay.
This is the scene where everyone thinks I was petting his
penis
under the table, but I wasn't.
What were you doing?
I had my hand on his leg,
Okay.
and I was wasted.
We know. I saw you.
And
what's
that's
it called?
the same exact night that I think they show me and Jax leaving together, but my ex picks me up, and that's the night that I
On
was
the car.
having sex while he drove.
Stop it.
I just couldn't be more proud.
Overshare.
More
Overshare.
proud over here. Jesus. I
And
wish I never even fucking asked.
I remember my way cute heels at this bar, the slats of the wood were like too far, and my heels kept getting stuck, and I was like, fuck this floor. You know? And I was a little bit drunk, so I like couldn't exactly maneuver around them. Yeah.
Okay,
That
so
was
alcohol, but were you trying to also make any like Kristen jealous or
Yeah.
anybody? Like
Season 4, I was so fucking cool. I was like, I had very few words to say.
Mm-hmm.
Season 4, can I tell you, with my Shih Tzu hair finale, where I'm like, where Stassi, I pushed Kristen. Stassi and Katie are trying to like get through to me. And I'm like, if you want to be my friend, you can be my friend. If you don't want to be my friend, then you can fucking blow me.
It's so weird.
Like, who are you?
It's so wild that season 4 is your first season and that's like your coolest because that would to me would be like the pick me girl season. The like you're trying to get all the lines said but you weren't. I've seen a lot of that on reality TV.
yeah, it's not like you're trying.
You
I
weren't
didn't-
trying.
I
You were
didn't
just-
even know how to try. I
were
was
just
in
like-
a foreign territory.
Right.
They're telling me that we're gonna have you meet with this person, we're gonna film it, and you're gonna go to Hawaii. And I'm like, go to Hawaii
Hell
without
yeah.
my mom? I was in such uncharted waters.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could tell by the liquor intake. Even Kristen or I don't know who said it, but she goes, "Is it bottomless tequila or something?" Because you're just like another shot, one more shot, and he just keeps bringing them. They're
Oh,
like,
that's
is it
rich that she's commenting on it.
That's rich. Oh my
That
god.
anyone on the show comment on anyone's drinking at that point in time is laughable.
Oh, that's so funny.
looking at it, it really is funny.
There's a scene, can I tell you?
Yes.
In Mexico, this is season 6 when I was finally accepted by the group.
Took you 2 seasons?
And it took me a while. And we're at dinner. And they did not show this, you guys. There's a dinner where I have my hair in a top knot.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dinner that's, I believe we're at a sushi restaurant, Mexico. And Kristen throws the drink. She throws the drink at James, but it hits me. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, Kristen? And she looks at me, I'm sorry.
Remember that.
I was just trying because it did not go where she wanted it to go.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't drink at that dinner is because that afternoon we were not filming. We were on break. And I went to a restaurant with James and Scheana and someone else. We were at a high top. Poor James has watched me faint so many times. And I had been drinking nonstop. I think I was overheated, too much alcohol, and dehydrated.
Yes.
And I just slither out of the chair. And they came and took me away and had me laying down, and I was surrounded by nurses. They wanted to take me to the hospital, but my mom and my ex were on the phone being like, you're not taking her anywhere. I will fly out. I will send her a plane, because I was fucked up, right?
Okay.
And I remember a producer being like, can we have cameras come in? I was like, no, I'm fucked up. I just passed out.
Did they catch you passing out, the cameras?
No, 'cause they were on
okay.
But they
break
had to call production because I was out cold.
and about to film.
You were definitely dehydrated. Had you smoked weed?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah. Fucked
Yeah.
up, dehydrated.
And so I went back to the hotel and took a load off. And then at dinner, I was like, I'm only having Diet Coke. And then Kristen threw a drink at James that actually landed on me.
that would make sense why you weren't fucked up.
Good thing
at
she
that
wasn't
dinner.
drunk, because she over the table she goes.
I
You would have
know.
flipped
Yeah.
it. You would have
Yeah.
I was
Teresa
getting along with
Giudice it.
everybody at that point, though.
That's a good segue, though, into, kind of. This person's question. I would like to hear a little bit more about what your life was like right before Vanderpump filming. So let's just say you
Fun, fucking awesome.
was it? You didn't know you were going to be on the show. Are you always at the Vanderpump bar? Are you modeling? What are you doing? Who are you hanging out with?
My life was unhinged. I was a 23-year-old living in Los Angeles, California with a tight little bod, and
Yeah.
the world was mine for the taking. And it was like, I, for the first time, have my own apartment that like I can have boys over to. And like Wednesday nights we'd go to Warwick and we went to pool parties and we laid out topless, me and Danielle. And it was just like fun.
Yeah.
And it was nonstop alcohol at all times.
Right.
But because we were young, wild, and free, it didn't matter. You're not a degenerate or an alcoholic. You're just 23 living your fucking life.
And isn't that when
Living.
you were doing the
Fit modeling.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I
okay.
was making money, is fit modeling in downtown LA for like 8 hours. I started at $40 an hour, and this motherfucker hustled them to $150 an hour.
$40 an hour back then is so much
I know.
money.
That's a
by
lot.
the way.
No,
I was making $20 an hour nannying and thought I was rich.
And keep in mind, 20 an hour, though, that's good.
Well, 40.
Yeah, well, they
Double.
found me on, I believe it was like a modeling website.
Okay.
And I was living in Utah. They said, I told them I was moving to LA and they offered me this gig. And it was when I was 19, the first time I had moved to LA. I ended up coming home. When I decided to go back, I called them again and said, I'm moving back to LA. Could I, pick up where we left off? And they said yes. So I was fit modeling. They usually liked their fit models to work 4 hours a couple days a week because I don't want to say it's grueling, but
It
you
is.
have to
Yeah.
change a lot of times.
Yeah.
And the posing is very generic and they usually end up cutting your head off. So fit modeling, not like workout.
Yes.
It's like a very basic body to show what clothing looks like on a body that goes on a website.
Did you have fake boobs at the time?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I got fake boobs at 20.
Okay.
But I asked them if I could come in for full days, full 8 hours, like 2 to 3 days a week. If you need me every day, I will be here.
Mhm.
And I really worked a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. I was doing my fit modeling and then drinking and living my best life. And I would go to SUR pretty often because my roommate / soul sister, who I've known my entire life, Danny Shea, worked at SUR.
So free drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so fun.
Free food.
That's amazing. Oh, that's like I would give when I bartended downtown Nashville, all my friends came because it was free drinks for everyone. And I would heavy pour the shit out of them. Not good. They'd
Yeah.
all be fucking wasted,
All wasted. Totally.
but free.
Yeah. And I would go to Einstein's every morning to get a bagel with cream cheese and dip it in mustard.
I
What?
forgot. You just opened. I remember that
Do you
now.
remember?
Walking there with Lily, just sitting out. Wow.
I love Einstein. We went to Einstein's when we were on the podcast tour. Lala, the three of us on a podcast tour would be so fun. I know you
would
don't want
love
it, but Easton and I want it so bad. Maybe after the baby. Maybe a few months after.
Maybe. We'll
Just
talk
like
about
a
it.
week. Okay. This is interesting. Every season, giant cast photo. How does that work? Before the season or at the end?
The cast photo is at the end of the season.
Okay, and what if some of you aren't getting along? Are you like, do you put it aside or do you just not talk to them? Because you're all in this cast photo.
Everyone has different call times.
Okay.
Usually we are all there at some point at the same time, but there are some that we're staggered as when we come in and staggered leaving. And this year for season 11, the cast photo was done. We weren't all together.
So they just
they cut us
Okay.
all in.
Oh. But are you usually all together?
Last year, season 10, we were all together.
This is a loaded question, but has anyone ever asked to be a part of the cast photo who's maybe not the main cast, but they think they're important enough to be part of the cast photo? And they go, can I be part of the cast photo? And everyone's like,
My
yeah,
ex.
I guess. I
Beautiful.
thought you were not going to answer directly like that.
wanted to be in it.
That's so weird. But like, what is he? He asked production and they go, I guess?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Baskin was like, he
Sure.
wants to be in it. So
That
I
is
was like,
so strange.
weird.
And this is my question. Main title. So like, who gets to be part of that? Are you are you feeling so lucky if you're asked? Because you weren't part of it season 4, were you?
I wasn't part of it season 4 or 5. Once you get a title card, which is the introduction where your name
Lala,
appears, you're a main cast member.
Okay, so it's an official. So are you asked before? You're like, will you be a main cast member this year? And then oh yeah, I'm going to be in the title card. That's how it works.
No, I remember just getting a email that was just like, hey, this is when we're shooting.
So you had already filmed the season and then you find out you're a main cast member? Is that how it works?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. I guess that makes sense.
It would make sense just to see how well they did
How
through
well
the
they
season.
do.
And then if you were, and I'm just saying, like if you were a main and somebody like you weren't, but you put more stories, they could make you a main.
A main,
right?
yeah.
Is that maybe how it works too? Like what you gave us this season will indicate if you're a main or not.
Did Allie have it? Allie didn't have a title card,
so.
right? No, I don't think it's like, are you going to show up and prove yourself? Because if that were the case, I think I would have had one season 4 and season 5. I mean, my storylines, those seasons were pretty heavy.
Right.
I was a main topic.
Right.
And I didn't get a main title card. So I don't know how they judge it.
That's
interesting. To be honest, I have no idea. But we shoot, obviously, as you guys see with our outfits, title cards and cast photos are shot on different days.
Yes.
The main titles take place usually in the restaurants, and then the others take place at a studio.
This could be really sweet, or not at all. Which friendship do you miss, is what they're asking. Are there any you think back on and you're like, or maybe people you were friends with early seasons where you're like, yeah, we just didn't remain friends, or anything like that?
I really liked my friendship with, they all have a really special place in my heart.
Of course.
I had a really fun time with Ariana when I first was on the show. Katie, my friendship with her season, well, we were friends for a really long time, but season 10, I thought that friendship was like really on point and, served its, I don't want to say served its purpose, like I needed to get something out of it. But when I think back, I'm like, wow, that was, even though it was a hard time in my life, that friendship really got me through a tough time in my life. So that friendship, I'm very fond of. I had really fun times with Kristen Doty. I've had fun times where it was like, I think about me and the Witches of WeHo, where I'm like, there were so many fun times that if I could go back and relive those moments, I totally would. And although it's sad when things shift, and Katie and I were very close, I don't think now we have anything in common, and that's okay.
Anything or most things?
I don't even know what we would talk about. We're just in such different places, and I think that friendship was meant to be the way it was for the time being. And it ran its course. And I think that that's totally okay. I have nothing but fond memories of that friendship. I have nothing but fond memories of the friendship I had with Ariana and Doty, but people change and move on, and there's not a lot to talk about anymore, and we're just in different stages of life. So no matter why we fell off, I don't really give a shit. What I do know is the time that we had together, I really enjoyed, and I wish them all the best.
Yeah, I hear you. I will say, we're not far away from it now yet, and we don't know, like, my personal fingers crossed, I'm like another season of Vanderpump, but I think eventually, whenever it happens, where maybe you guys are not part of the show anymore and the show's, and you're a bit distanced from it, you always have this special bond of being on this, like, iconic show, and I think it's just gonna, like, you're going to distance from it, and then there's going to be space. You're all going to be doing your own thing, and then I think you're going to come back together because it's so special, and you guys went through, like, so many crazy things. You had this pod of people, and, like, the world, and, like, CNN and shit was talking about you. I just think it's really special, and like I said, I don't know if we're distanced enough from it yet. Like, you guys just filmed last year.
But I think that's why I really like doing these episodes, even though I kind of became anti for a second. I just needed some distance after season 11. Now that we've all rounded it out.
Third and we're headed home. Fucking headed home.
Yeah.
You know, now that we're kind of through the storm, because, you know, you guys were catching heat after that, it became a lot. And I have to say, like, season 10, just that entire situation that they named Scandoval taught me a lot. I remember being on Watch What Happens Live and Andy asking about the mob mentality, and I said, no, they fucked up, let us have fun, or whatever. And now that I've been on the other side of it, where people, and granted, I didn't do anything that like Tom Sandoval, but I've been on the other side of the mob mentality, and I don't look at it the same anymore. And it's just interesting when you put the shoe on the other foot and you experience things that are very easy to be like, we'll get over it. It's like, okay, well, let's reverse the roles. And it's like, oh, well, I don't really like this. This doesn't feel that good. I think I've changed and I look at things differently. And I don't know that I would ever want to be a part of the mob mentality ever again and just be relentless on somebody, you know, unless they're like a murderer or something. Or they go to SeaWorld.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We'll get you.
But just my experiences in life these past couple years have really, there's been a lot of shifting that's happened in kind of a short period of time. So when we do these episodes, it takes me to a place where I'm like, we've had so much fun. This has been like the best time, the best days of our lives.
Yeah.
The things that I preach to people where I'm like, it's not going to last forever, even in like sad moments, just like enjoy the fuck out of it, right? Because people move on, people forget, and then they only remember like the greatest of things, you know? So I'm glad that we do episodes like this because it does take me back to a place where I'm like, oh, we've all had so much fun together. And who cares if, you know, why we fell off? All I know is I've had a really fucking fun time.
And these people, you've experienced something so unique and special with them that you will never again in your life experience with anyone else. And that's wild.
Yeah,
And I like what you
wild.
said about that, like in distancing yourself. And I feel like you have a lot of outside noise. So once you get away from that, I could see that.
Yeah.
All three business women. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole crew
I think, yeah.
coming back together. Are you kidding me? It'd be like Friends. Like when you saw Friends, them all come back together.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A freaking Vanderpump Rules reunion, but I'm still hoping another season, baby.
I love it. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. I love you and I will catch you next week. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Did I get all three? I'm getting really good at that.